Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. In the previous video, we have seen the introduction of Boto3 and SDK and how to configure, the security credentials for using the SDK. And in this particular video, we are going to see our first program with which we are going to access AWS services and also understand some of the concept of Boto3 such as resource and client. So let us start with this particular video. So, in order to understand Boto3, we need to know some of the concepts which are actually available in Boto3. So, they are namely session, resource, client, meta, collections, waiters, and paginators. In this particular video, we will be focusing on the first three, that is session, resource, and client. Right? All the other concepts we are going to touch one by one in the upcoming videos. Right? So first of all, let us understand the working of session, resource, and client. Right? So talking about session, it is AWS Management Console in our terms. See, in order to access any services, what is the first step that we take care of? We need to log into our AWS Management Console, right? And we have a front page of that. We are going to see it, we will be seeing it in the hands-on, in the later portion of this video only. After that, what is actually require, we require some of our credentials in order to access any services, right? We need ID password to actually get into our management console, right? But here we will be dealing with the script, so we are going to take care of the programmatic access, right? And then we actually access our services by clicking the buttons, right? Because the management console is nothing but a GUI for accessing the services, right? So rather than commands, it is a interface, the graphical interface which we use, and we navigate through the different dashboards. So what a session in Boto3 meant, it means the console GUI, right? But what we create it in terms of a session in Boto3, right? So now let us go to our Python screen and just understand what is the working of session over here, and we will be coming back to resources and client, So here, whenever we actually access any service, in AWS, there are certain steps, right? So let us say the step number one. Now the step number one is to log in into AWS Management Console, which is nothing but this screen, right? So the first step is to, log into this management console, right? Now, what is the second step that we do? The second step that we perform is nothing but go to the services. Let's say go to the services. Now, services can be EC2, S3, IAM, and many more, right? So let's say, suppose in the previous video I created an IAM user. So what I'm going to do is click on the service. So the first dashboard was that management console's home screen, and now clicking on IAM, right? So it will be somewhere in the security section. Here, security and compliance IAM services, right? So the next step is clicking on this particular dashboard to get into this service, this particular dashboard that you are now seeing on your screens, right? Now this one, right? Now after that, I can go, let's say if I am on IAM, then what I can do, I can make users, I can make groups, I can design roles, or even frame policies, right? So this is the specific step that we do when we work on console, right? So over here you can see that I can go on users, or I can go on roles or policies or anything that I want, right? Now what I will be doing is I will be performing these steps programmatically, and over here session is going to help me. How? Let us see. So the first step of our program will be, of course, importing Boto3, right? So I will be write import Boto3. After that, what is the first step? The first step is to open AWS Management Console. So here what I will be doing is I will be making a variable name AWS management, let's say MG, and console. So this is my variable name. You can have any variable name of your choice. Now this variable name will be the session, right? So what is a session? It is our AWS management console. So what it is? It is AWS management console, right? So what is the syntax of creating a session? It is Boto3 dot session dot session, right? Now you want to access the AWS management console, right? Here when I opened that management console, I signed it as a root user, right? I can also sign in as an IAM user, right? You know that particularly. Now here demo user is my IAM user, and I am telling this session that please open up an AWS management console with the profile name is equal to, what is the name of my profile? The profile name is demo underscore user. Now it is just as you log into your management console with the help of your ID and password. Here you are logging into the management console. You are creating a session of it. Why the profile name means by a IAM user, and the credentials of IAM user you have already configured, and you have seen that in the previous lectures, right? So now this is a session, right? So now I hope that this is pretty much clear to you that what is we actually meant by session, right? Now what we need to do next, the next thing is go to these services, right? Like EC2 IAM, right? As demo user, right? So for that, let us go to our slides and see what is resources and clients. Now, with the help of resource and client, we can create a particular AWS service console like IAM console, EC2 console, S3 console, and many more. So with the session, what we do, we create a home page of management console, right? And with the help of resources and client, what we do, we create the service console, right? Just as the service dashboards, right? So resource is a high level object oriented service, and it is available for few of the AWS services, which we are going to see programmatically again. And client is a low level API that provides one-to-one mapping to the underlying HTTP API operations. And client is more or less available for all AWS services which we want to access through Boto3. Now, I think that, theoretically it is not much evident. Let us go back to our Visual Studio Code and understand that how resource and client can open the service console, right? So here I am back on my Visual Studio Code, and now you know that the next step is clicking on any of the services as S3 or EC2 and opening its dashboard, right? So for that, what we are going to do is we will be creating another variable, and here I am opening IAM console. So this is another variable name that I am taking as, let's say, IAM console, and that is equal to, with how we actually logged in, we logging to the management console and then to the service console, right? So service console will come via the management console, right? Dot one way is with the help of resource. So the one way is to access it with the help of resource, and what is my resource over here is IAM, right? So you can access the IAM console with the help of the management console, right? And now your simple Python code. What you want to do? Let's say I want to list all IAM users, right? So for each user, this is my loop variable, in IAM console dot users dot all print each user dot name. Now all these syntax that what I'm using is of simple Python, and here this is particularly the list of all users that are available in IAM console. So because we know that list is iterable, so I have used a for loop, and what I'm doing is I'm just printing the name of each users, the IAM users that are available in my account, right? So if I run this particular code, you can see that the name of my demo user is now been printed over here, right? So with the help of Boto3, you have seen that I have accessed the name of the user that I have created in my management console, and you can visualize it over here. Now let me just create one more user over here, and let's say demo user 2. I'm giving it again programmatic access. I won't be using it, but still I'm doing it. Attaching policy, let's say admin only. I don't require it. I will be deleting this second user, but I'm just showing it because again, if I run the code, I should get two users over here, right? So I'm just closing it because I do not require it. So I just close it, getting back to my this particular account, Visual Studio Code, and I'm going to run this particular code all over again, and now I shall get two IAM users, right? So first I got only one, and yes, here you can see now I got two IAM user. So this is a simple Python script of around 4 to 5 lines with which I am able to access my AWS services through a Python script. Right. But here what we did, we actually created a resource, right? What we did, we actually created a resource. Now what I want to show you how we can actually work with clients, right? So the one thing that you need to understand over here is resources are available only for few services, right? Now resource is not available for all the services that are available, right? So let me just comment these particular lines because I do not require to print the IAM users right now. What I actually want you to show is I want you to show that how many functions are actually available with the IAM console over here. So what I will be making use, I will be making use of dir function, and I will be writing AWS management console over here, light. And now if I run the code, let us see what I get on my screens here. So this dir function returned a particular list of methods that are available for this management console. And here you can see that I have one function or one method which is client, and another one which is resource. It is actually coming over here. Here it is resource, right? Resource, and I have client, right? So the problem is that there are only few services which we can access with the help of resource method, right? Let us see how many services we can actually access with the help of resource method. See what we want to access AWS services with the help of a programming language, right? So let us see. So AWS management console dot what I want to do is get available resources. this function I shall be making use, right? So I shall be copying it from here and now will be pasting get available resources, and this is a method, so I should write. Now if I run, see what I'm telling you with this particular syntax is, I'm telling you when we access AWS services with the help of resource, there are only few services that we can access, right? We can see, yes. So here I got another list which says that with the help of resource method, you can access CloudFormation, CloudWatch, DynamoDB, EC2, Glacier, IAM, OpsWork, S3, SNS, and SQS. Only these few services are available with the help of resources. Now it is evident that with the help of resource you can access only few services. So what is the solution to that? If I want to access some other service of AWS which is not available in this particular list, so there comes the working of our client, right? So let me just clear the screen and show you how we can actually work with AWS in Boto3 with the help of a client. Let me just remove this code because I do not require it anymore. What I shall be creating now, I do not require this also because this is the resource one. So let me just copy this syntax again because I need an IAM dashboard, right? Through this, but here I shall be creating it as a client. So in place of resource, I will be writing client, right? Service name is IAM. Here the service name is IAM. IAM is a global service, so I am not mentioning any region over here. Otherwise, you can do it like this. You can write service underscore name is equal to, you can provide such tags, right? And for region, you can also write region underscore name equals to whichever region you want to use. Let's say US East 1. Here it is not necessary because IAM is a global service, but the proper syntax can be something like this, right? After that, what I want to access the IAM users. So for that, what I can be doing is I will be making use of a print function, and in that I will be obviously making use of IAM console, and I will be writing a list underscore users. I will be doing something like this, and pay attention to the output that I'm getting. If I run this particular code, you can see what I got. I got this particular detail as my answer, which is nothing but a dictionary. So there is another difference between using resources and your client. Client always returns a dictionary, right? And it is actually increasing some of our programming efforts, because in order to extract the particular name of our user, you can see that the name is over here, username, it is demo user, and the second user is demo user 2. So what I need to do is I need to write something else so that I can actually get the required answer. So some more programming efforts will be required, and you will be requiring the basic knowledge of Python so that you can understand what working with dictionaries. So what I'm going to do over here is I shall be making use of a for loop over here. I shall be removing this and say for let's say each underscore user, in just as we did in our resources, in IAM dot underscore console, this is what my IAM console name is, dot list underscore users. Now what I want from this particular dictionary, I require only the name of users, right? So I will be writing user over here, and now this will be my for loop, right? So what I want the list of users, right? And what I'm going to do over here is now I'm going to print each underscore user, And with this, I shall be providing again user name. See where it is, see here it is demo user, it's username, right? So this thing is over here. So this username I want, right? Now let me just clear the screen and now see the output. And now if I run this particular code, and you can see that with the help of client also, here we have got printed all the IAM users that are available over. So that was a small introduction on how we can write scripts in Boto3 for accessing IAM services, creating session, and accessing services with the help of resource as well as with the help of client. Right? So this was a very brief video, and for more such videos on the programmatic access to AWS services, stay tuned to my channel. Thank you.